Hey everyone, welcome to Lady Overlander Radio. Tonight we're speaking with Coddiwomple Overland. Stay tuned.
I'm Tony with Bats Off Road, and you're Joy the Woodpecker.
I am.
This is Team Wild Maven.
Hey, this is Ross Price Design.
Hi, this is Jerry from Timber Tusk.
Hi, we're Coddiwomple Overland.
What's up, guys? This is Oscar Mike Overland.
Hey, I'm Matt.
And I'm Kara with Ozark Overland Adventures.
Hey, this is Aaron with Artemis Overland Hardware.
Hey, this is Chris with MOORE Expo. You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching Lady Overland Radio.
Lady Overlander Radio.
You're watching Lady Overland Radio.
Oh, here we go. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Lady Overlander Radio is brought to you by Artemis Overland Hardware, the MOORE Expo, and U.S. Action Tracks.
Hey girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. That cracks me up so bad.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yeah, the outtakes are pretty funny too. I posted those earlier today.
They are super funny if you haven't watched them yet. Oh.
Yeah, everybody was a good sport. So how you guys doing tonight?
Good.
Doing great.
All right.
Awesome. What'd you think of MOORE Expo?
We really enjoyed it. That was our first trip there, and we'll be back for many, many more of them.
Yeah. We had a really good time with everybody. It was so nice to see everybody again and hang out. And, you know, the expo was nice too, but it was really, to me, it was more about seeing everybody that I hadn't seen in a while. So had a really great time. It's
amazing how much it's grown. We've been the last few years of it, actually every year. And it started out really small in that section where Artemis was. It was just in that section when it first started. And then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. And next year, I bet it's twice as big as it was this year. It's just amazing.
Oh, yeah. I definitely think it'll be even bigger. It's crazy. Hey, Kara.
Yep. She loved meeting y'all.
Hey, Kara. Yeah, we loved meeting you guys too, along with everybody else. I mean, that was just like you said, Misty. It was nice to be able to see the expo and all the other stuff that was there. But, you know, the memories that we made by meeting all of you guys and all of the other people that we met and getting to hang out with people that we talked to on a pretty regular basis on social media, getting to hang out one-on-one with them, that was the highlight to us too.
Yeah, it's awesome. So Kara wants to know if Kelly got that new skinny camper yet.
Yeah, Kara, not yet. It's looking like 7 or 10 more days. They're saying the end of the month they should have it ready for me, and I'm going to drive up to Bristol, Indiana, and get it installed. And I can't tell you how excited I am. It's a pretty sweet unit.
Yeah, we can't wait to see it.
We can't wait to see it.
Absolutely.
So why don't we, I'll let you do this, Bill. Why don't you go into a little background about how Coddiwomple Overland got started, how you met Kelly, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Well, Deb and I owned our own business, trail building business, when we first got together, and we spent all of our time together, 24 hours a day, every day. Long story short, I went back into emergency medical services, and she went back to working as a dispatcher. We found ourselves working all of the time and never spending any time with each other, you know, the way that we used to. So we decided in the end of 2019 that we were going to do something to where we could get back to enjoying life and enjoying each other the way that we always did. And we've always done stuff in the outdoors. You know, Deb's been involved in horses or some type of outdoor recreation. I've been involved in a lot of motorsport recreation as well. We had the Jeep and stumbled upon overlanding and thought, well, this will be the great thing to do. We found the Kentucky Adventure Tour, decided we wanted to go check out part of it. So that's how Coddiwomple, we thought about it at that point. And, you know, we're going to go out and do something. That was as far as we'd gotten. So we went out a couple times here locally and took some video just to show our son and that kind of thing. And he said, hey, you know, you should put that on YouTube so that we can see it. So we started doing that. And he said, well, you know, that's pretty good. you can make a little bit of money at that. So we ended up taking it out of my name and putting it in Coddiwomple Overland and started our YouTube channel. Not that we really intended on ever making any money, but, the thought of being able to do that type of recreation, at least pay for a little bit of gas, sounds sweet to everybody, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we found the Kentucky Adventure Tour, decided to go out and spend a day on it, but we didn't really want to go out by ourselves.
Right.
So I put a post on Kentucky Overland and said, hey, we're wanting to go out and do a section of the Kentucky Adventure Tour. If anybody would like to go with us on this date, reach out to us. The only person who reached out to us was Kelly.
Aww.
So Kelly says, hey, yeah, I'll be there. I'll meet you at Slade at 8 o'clock that Saturday morning. Deb, of course, being the 911 dispatcher and, always thinks the worst of everybody sometimes. She stalks Kelly on Facebook and she said, are you sure that we want to meet him? He looks like an axe murderer.
Girl, I'm the same way. It's fine.
So, but we ended up meeting with Kelly that day, ended up driving a little over 100 miles of the cat, and things just clicked from there, and we've been on just about every trip together since.
Awesome.
Hey, Ashley.
So I also know Kelly, but he did not look like that when I knew Kelly. He was very clean shaven, very short hair, because we were both in the Coast Guard together. So it's just funny how we met you guys through him, and I had no idea that he even overlanded at all. And we have been doing it almost 2 years at that point. And I was chatting with him and he said, you ought to come out with us and go out with us. And I'm like, well, who are you going out with? I had no idea. So it's just funny how all that came about. Yeah. All because of Kelly, the axe murderer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, like Misti, you said you didn't know that about me. I don't put any of this stuff on my personal Facebook page.
Right.
Only because so few of the people I'm friends with on Facebook are into this. It's like two completely separate universes. So it's not like I'm trying to hide it or anything. It's just, I don't know.
A smaller Kelly.
Oh, Lord.
Robert says he knew a smaller Kelly.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, you did. About 50 pounds
Help
smaller.
us now. Rob's too good for us. He's flying first class everywhere now.
I know he is.
He's bougie.
Staying in the Delta Sky Lounge, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Kara's got a question there, Arla.
What's your favorite trail/trip you've taken? Whoever wants to grab that one.
Go ahead, Deb.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Or Kelly.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Well, for me, the trail was the entire Lockhart Basin, including Lockhart Pass. From Canyonlands all the way up through Hurrah Pass and back into Moab. And it rained while we were out there. So not only did we have 100 miles of desert, we had 100 miles of mud. And then we had a little fuel situation with some of the vehicles. So I had to go down Lockhart Pass, had a flooded out section of the road, had to wait for a front end loader to load it, up Lockhart Pass and back down all in one day, and loved every minute of it.
Oh, my goodness.
And so that was my favorite trail by far.
Yeah, you got to do it a couple of times.
I did. Yeah.
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 What about you, Deb?
Mine was my favorite as far on the East Coast was the Monongahela area. I love that area. It's just like every time we go back, it's just beautiful. There's nothing technical about it like there was, with the Lockhart Basin or if you go out west, but just for the scenery of it, I really like that area.
And for me, there's differences in West Coast or west part of the United States versus east part of the United States. They're totally different. I really like the Henry Mountains when we were in Utah, and I really liked Factory Butte, and the day that we had there in Lockhart Basin was one that I'll tell everybody about from now on. But as far as East Coast goes, I think, unlike Deb, the Monongahela is probably the prettiest area we've been to on the East Coast so far. But a place that really has surprised me and wasn't even anywhere on my radar was Southeast Missouri.
Yes.
really surprised about that.
Mm-hmm.
And we're looking forward to going back. And if that's anything like what the Ozarks is, you guys have been holding out on it.
Oh, the Ozarks are amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Well, when we do things like the Kentucky Adventure Tour and the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway, a lot of those are county roads, right? And so we're talking about county roads in Kentucky are pretty serious. Yeah, no, Missouri. Wow. That 242 was a county road, and it was no joke. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, when I went with you guys on the Kentucky Adventure Tour, I was like, this is a county road? Are you serious? Oh, yeah. This isn't even a trail yet. It's like, oh.
Yeah. We need to take you to the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway because it's, twice as bad as what the cat is.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'll have to put the Forerunner to the test now.
We can do that.
So.
Yeah, we can.
We're going to have to get Kara and Matt to come out here with you guys and all of us do a trip on the Daniel Boone.
Oh, yeah. Arla and Tony, too. They got the vehicles for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
When I said you all, I meant you all.
Y'all.
Y'all means y'all over yonder.
Oh, y'all.
Oh, y'all. Oh, y'all right there.
That's right.
So
when we come back out to Missouri, you guys have to guide us. I'm sure you guys know a lot of places we would never even think to try.
You gotta come down here to Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
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 We're going to need to do that. Yeah, for sure.
And Matt knows the Ozarks like the back of his hand, for real. So,
yeah.
Yep.
He's got that covered, I'm sure.
We can be in the Ozarks within 45 minutes from my house.
All right.
Sounds like we're going to have to make a road trip.
Yeah.
I think so.
Time and money.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about each of your rigs. I want you guys to go through just, kind of quickly about what modifications you've done to each one, what's still stock, why you did those mods. And we're going to start with the beautiful Jeep here.
The OG.
Yep.
Bill?
Yeah, the orange Jeep, the 2011 Wrangler. That's a sport that it does not have the Dana 30 underneath it anymore. It's got a Dana 44 in the front. It's got an Aussie locker in the rear. It's Clayton lift, 3.5 inch, Bilstein shocks, Barnes aluminum front steering components. Of course, we run the Cooper 37s. And then the fenders are just, they're an Amazon special. I don't even remember what the brand of it was. But the engine stock, transmission stock, we've got 513 gears in that now. It is the 3.8, so the 513 gears were pretty much a must. We've got a custom cabinet system that we put in the back, and it's got a refrigerator. What brand is that?
I forget.
It's a 53-quart single-zone refrigerator. And then, of course, Overland Vehicle Systems, soft, the Nomadic 310, and their 270 awning. So those are the big things on it.
Nice. All right, Deb or Bill, who wants to talk about the Gladiator?
I don't look like Deb in the driver's seat.
No, that's Bill.
It's old Bill there. I only drive it when he flies the drone. I like to look around.
But she drives it every day to work.
Yeah. So it's, of course, a 2021, and it's got the Clayton 3.5 Overland Plus lift on it. It has Cooper 37s, Dirty Lifestyle rims, and I don't know, it don't have, let's see, we got the, I don't know, what else does it have on it?
Well,
the
big thing was, we used the orange Jeep as our learning Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
This one, we kind of knew where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do with it. The biggest problem that we had with the orange Jeep was not about its capability or getting us where we wanted to go. It was after about 4 days of us being out, and I am the worst child in the world when it comes to putting stuff back where it belongs. So, I'll admit that freely. I am not organized, and if I can't get to something easy and put it back easily where it belongs, then it doesn't go back where it belongs. Yeah.
My kids seem to have that philosophy as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Matt says you can only pick one, JK or JT. JT. No question.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
Definitely.
that easy
Dang.
because with that one, I was able to build that to where you can reach and get anything from the outside and not have to fuss over getting into anything or getting under anything. Everything can be got to and rich, and I can put it back where it belongs easily without getting in trouble.
But he still don't. That's I
was gonna say.
He is because he still don't. If you see us leave on day 1, you can see the back seat. You see us on day 3 or 4, you can't see anything.
It's typical.
In that truck.
So Matt wants to know, or Karen wants to know, what made you choose a Mojave? I guess
Okay.
a Rubicon or Sport with the max tow, or
We get that question a lot. We had the option of the Mojave, the Max Tow, or obviously the Rubicon. So with the research that I done, what I figured out was the advantage for us over the Mojave, over the Rubicon, was in the last 3 years, I've used the front locker on the orange Jeep three times.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3 times that I really either didn't need them or was in a place that I probably shouldn't have been anyway.
Mm-hmm.
The electronic sway bar disconnect is super convenient. However, with the new Apex disconnects that we've got where you can twist them a quarter of a turn and unlock them, twist them a quarter of a turn and lock them back, that really wasn't a big deal to me either. So the other thing that the Rubicon has as far as advantage is the 4-to-1 crawl ratio. We don't do a whole lot of hardcore rock crawling.
Right.
What we do is a whole lot of dirt roads. Sometimes at faster speeds, we do a lot of washboard stuff. We do a lot of dirt roads that are typically rough. The Mojave is built for that, where it's got a stronger frame. It's got stronger shock towers. It's got stronger spring perches. It's got cast iron steering knuckles as opposed to aluminum. And it is basically built for that higher speed desert running. So that's why we chose that. We went ahead. We knew that we were going to lift it. We knew we were going to put the 37s on it. And people say, well, you bought a Mojave because of the suspension, and now you're going to take all that off and put a new suspension on. Now, I bought the Mojave because of all of the frame upgrades and the steering upgrades. And then we just traded out the 2.5 Fox shocks for the 2.5 double adjustables, which we increased the capability of those shocks. So it's worked for us. It may not work for everybody, but for the type of wheeling that we do and the type of exploring we do, I think it was our best choice.
It does match. Your vehicles are both orange and black, so it does kind of.
Well, that was the other thing is Deb didn't want a red dash, so I told her we could paint the dash, but when she seen the orange stitching and everything in the Mojave, well, that was what sold her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you all have names for your vehicles?
Well, Deb and I don't.
Really?
Kelly does have a name for his.
Well, kind of.
But we're going to have to change the name because it no longer can take that name. So
you're right.
We did it, Mom's Purse.
Mom's Purse
because it held everything that nobody else wanted to carry.
Exactly. Everybody else's stuff ended up in my truck. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your truck, Kelly. Oh,
hang on.
Moved it there.
Sorry.
Kelly,
do you find it difficult to find trails with the size of your rig? Is it harder for you?
If I had any common sense, I would, but I don't. I have not turned around because the trail was too narrow yet.
Okay.
This one here was probably 6. I had it 6 days, and I was scraping tree branches down it. And I bought it to use, so the paint within 2 weeks looked like complete hell. But that's all right.
Having fun.
Tell us what you done to it.
Rock sliders and wheels and tires, and those are actually the factory wheels on there now. I have AEV Saltas and 37s on it right now, and a tonneau cover. That's it. It's stock.
And tell everybody what you're getting.
I don't know, Bill. Am I allowed to talk about that?
Oh,
yet?
is he allowed to talk about
yes.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Kelly.
No, that's all right. So at MOORE Expo, we were approached by a company out of Bristol, Indiana, called Skinny Guy Campers, and they make a cab size camper. It fits in the bed, doesn't go above the cab. It looks like an RSI Smart Cab, but it folds out to a tent with 6 foot 4 inches of headroom, refrigerator, hot water, heat, sink, stove, flushing toilet, and a shower.
You're glamping, bro.
Wow.
Totally glamping. Yeah.
That's awesome.
35-gallon water capacity.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's got 2 water systems on it. It's got an 18 of potable water, and then it has an 18, and you can select what uses which tank, that refills from the roof drain from the tent.
That's
What?
cool.
Yeah. So it actually refills your what you would use for like your shower and the toilet from rainwater. And Rob, yeah.
Rob says that's about a foot taller than Kelly needs.
Oh, he's on you.
He is on. He's been on me for 20 years, so.
Same.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm really excited about it. Another nice thing about it is the weight for a fully decked out one is 1,083 pounds, which is not a lot.
Wow.
Wow. The water's going to weigh more than the whole camper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And what I did, like I said, I'm supposed to be picking it up in 7 to 10 days, I think. And when we got back actually from Expo, because I was set up for overlanding, we did a few days afterwards. The video just went out Sunday. I weighed my truck as it was with my big gazelle ground tent and all my cook gear. And when I get the Skinny Guy in, I'm going to weigh it again to see what the difference was between ready to roll then and ready to roll now. Because I probably got 400 pounds of gear in my truck right now that aren't going to be there, that are going to come out of that 1,000 pounds of the camper.
Right.
The fridge, the tent, all of that stuff. So I'll be interested to see what the weight difference is.
Yeah, now she can be a flat bottom girl. We've called her the big girl for a long time.
That's right.
She has. And yeah, the weight, by the way, with my original setup was 8,460 pounds. That's what that truck weighs when we're rolling. So it's fun.
Wow. So tell
those
me,
bridges that we went over that were 6-ton weight capacity were a little over, right?
A little bit. A little bit.
it's because Mom carries so much in her purse.
That's right.
Yes, she does.
So what has been the craziest thing that has happened to you on the trail, Deb?
Craziest thing that has happened, I guess, where we were camped on a strip job, other than the dead bodies. And I mean that happens.
It's a strip mine. Some people may not want to know what a strip job is.
I was like, what is a strip job?
Well, see, here I just call them strip jobs because we're in Eastern Kentucky. So strip mine.
Strip mine. Coal mine?
We had a guy that had ran through our campfire on a 4-wheeler and just was being obnoxious all night. I guess that was the worst thing we've ever had.
Yeah. We've camped at the same place a couple times and had some strange noises, but
yeah. Oh yeah, there's that one too. There's so many different
really
ones
that's about all. We've never had any issues. We try to camp as far away from the road as we can to try to stay as unnoticed as possible.
And that weird noise that nobody could hear all night. And every time I tell Bill, hey, there's a weird noise, he tells me to go back to sleep. And Kelly almost got ate by a bear because of that one night.
Well, he obviously wasn't the bear's type, so
obviously.
We had been out for a few days. He probably wasn't smelling real tasty.
Nah, he's like, woo.
The bear was on a low-fat diet, so I was safe.
Yeah. There you go.
No.
So, Bill, what happened to your drone in the last video I just watched?
I really either need to start flying higher than the things that are potentially in my path, or invest in a drone that
or
has
listening to his wife.
side avoidance. So
shots fired.
Yeah, well, I crashed it again. Of course, we were getting some drone footage along a stream in southeastern Missouri. I was traveling right along the stream, and a tree jumped out and grabbed the drone. So she went.
Trees.
Yeah.
Yep. I was watching it and I was like listening to the music. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful footage. And all of a sudden, upside down in the water. I was like, what?
The best was that it was still recording.
Yeah.
And the water was going over top of it.
Yeah. And the video underwater looked great.
I know.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Super clear. I couldn't believe, I mean, that's just a testament to how well put together the DJI drones are. You know, we crashed the one in the desert, and of course we hit a rock at 43 miles an hour or whatever, as fast as it'll go. That one didn't work out so well. This one stayed upside down underwater and recorded video for another minute and 16 seconds before I could get it out of the water, but it recorded the whole time. And we got it dry. Deb took the hairdryer to it before we left there, and we got it all dried out, and it's working great.
We had a drone in Wyoming, and on the inaugural flight, it ended up in the water and didn't work anymore. So it wasn't a DJI. We have a DJI now, but it did not work again. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
That's why they don't let me fly anymore. But not so good at it.
She won't even try.
Yeah,
I don't want either.
I don't even want to try.
It stresses me out to think of the money that's flying around. I don't like it.
I've never been real good at video games, so I figure
I
probably won't be real good at flying a drone.
Couldn't agree more.
The hand-eye coordination, I guess. But yeah, it thought it was a submarine. Funny, honey.
Yeah, it did.
Old Joe.
Good to see you, Joey.
He's out there in Arizona right now. Deb, what was that Ronnie said?
Yeah.
Deb saved the drone with the hairdryer and the popcorn. Yeah. Exactly.
That popcorn looked delicious. I got hungry after watching that part.
Thank God for Deb,
looked
man.
delicious.
The second one was good. Yeah.
Deb had technique, man. She was yeah.
Did you guys see how intently I was watching how she was doing that? I was focused. I'm going to figure this stuff out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Deb, speaking of you and your overlanding adventures, tell us how you feel about being in a more male-centric type of activity like overlanding or off-roading.
It really doesn't bother me that much. I mean, my whole entire life, I've pretty much been into everything's been more, I guess you would say, like a more male-dominant type of
activity.
Yeah, activity. So, I mean, my dad was a very big outdoorsman, hunting, fishing. Always went with him. Every time he'd go hunting, I'd want to be there. I'd want to go fishing. We grew up on a farm. I was in the horse industry forever. And then met Bill, and we were in the trail business and four-wheelers, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, motorcycles. And it kind of, I've always been in that, you know, it seems like everything has been more males than it is women with the outdoor, with those type of outdoor activities, I guess you could say. So being with all the males don't bother me any, but I absolutely love it when like Misti shows up or somebody else is there. And that's what's kind of exciting about like the Lady Overland Radio and Kara and the Lady 4x4 is just being able to have you know, a base of women out there to be able to talk to also.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons why we started the podcast, was to show, you know, that there are women out there doing it and that we want to get more women involved, because I think it's a fantastic, I love it, you know, and I enjoy being outdoors. And you can ask Kelly, Rob, my husband, Joe. I've always been kind of one of the guys. I served in the military as well. So, you know, I shoot pool and drink beer and go off-roading and camp or whatever. So,
and we get that question a lot. It's pretty often is, how do I get my wife involved?
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And I think it's easy, you know, it seems like once you get out and start doing it, to me, it's like it gets easier and easier after you do it a few times, you know, and you get used to where your stuff is and how to put your tent up. And I think a lot of the people that go out the first time, they try to put a tent up, a ground tent, and it's frustrating because it's so hard to put that ground tent up. And it's like, I'm doing this again, you know, but I'm hoping more women do get involved in this part of, you know, whether it's the overlanding or just going out, you know, for the day.
Yeah, I agree. It's surprising to me. I feel like I've missed out all of these years because, you know, we RV'd for a lot of years, you know, but it's completely different when you're sleeping in the tent or you're sleeping in a hammock and you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have no neighbors and, you know, it's just so peaceful and quiet and there's nothing like it. So, but it is a confidence thing. I think you know, if you haven't really done stuff like that, even when I was on the Cat, I hadn't really done anything more than a regular forest road for a long time. You know, Joe has always been the primary driver. So when I got out there and I was in my own vehicle, you know, I was a little nervous, but you guys coached me through, especially Bill and Kelly, and just, you know, I gained a little bit of confidence, learned what my vehicle could do, and it was a lot of fun. So
you did good.
Yeah.
You know, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Then you guys told me that was the easy stuff. So I was like, oh, awesome. So,
yeah.
Thinking I'm a badass. And I'm like, nope. Just the beginner course. No. So,
you know, but the thing is, though, Misty, to find things harder than the road you were doing, you have to go looking for them.
Yeah.
The stuff you did is about as hard as you're ever going to run into. And it was some pretty serious stuff. You know, well, I mean, I'll say it. Joe got the Jeep stuck, but you went through that same spot. You know, right? I mean, not to bust.
I got stuck.
Not to bust on Joe, but what I'm saying is, what the work you were doing were fairly serious. But anything beyond that is stuff you went and looked for.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to see how the 4Runner does now.
Yeah, different rig.
A whole different vehicle. Yeah.
Start from scratch.
So what would you guys say? I'll give you this one, Bill. What would you guys say is the top 3 pieces of recovery gear you should have with you when you go out on a trail like that?
Another vehicle with a good friend. Yeah. That's number 1.
For sure.
Number 2 is a good recovery strap. And number 3 is a winch. There are times that, you know, even with a buddy and even with a recovery strap, you're not going to be able to get out of the situation that you're in. And you know, with our vehicles, I think we need a winch.
Yes.
We've tried recovery boards, and they do work in some applications, but with a 9,000-pound power wagon, they get buried in the mud, and we haven't had any luck with them. You know, we may have just tried them in the wrong situations, but our experience has just not been good with those. So mine would be a buddy. Always take a buddy with you, a recovery strap so your buddy can pull you out, and in the event you both get in a bind, at least one of you needs to have a winch.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. So what's your biggest pet peeve out on the trail, Kelly?
Oh, for me,
they're laughing. This is gonna be good.
Yeah,
rental Jeep.
You know where this is going. Rental Jeep. No, trail etiquette, which rental Jeeps a lot of times run into. You're going, and I know people aren't born knowing these things, but you'll get a lot of folks out on the trail that are just driving around without a care in the world for what's going on around them and what other people are going through at the moment. And we were going up Engineer Pass. We had the stream of rental Jeeps coming down. We're going up. I'm 8 feet wide and 8,600 pounds. They're 3 feet from the inside, and I actually dipped a tire off of Engineer, just an inch over the edge. But that's I was at that point, I was starting to get pretty upset. It's like, folks, move over, and if you don't know what you're doing, that's great. Ask, hey, what should I do? And slow down. But yeah, that's my biggest pet peeve is just folks who get out there and just have no respect for the trail or the other people on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is something in Colorado is there's so many rental side-by-sides and Jeeps there.
Yeah.
I don't know who's supposed to stop and wait for who.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We ran into that on Imogene.
Yeah.
And we hit Imogene the next day, and we hit it early enough. There wasn't any traffic, and it was great.
Not Imogene.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly did Imogene.
Oh, I did Imogene. That's right. I did Imogene. I skipped Engineer the next day
He did
because I
Engineer
was so fed up.
Yeah, he was like, if it's going to be the same way that Imogene was, I'll just go around. And he did. He ended up meeting us in Lake City. You know, what we did, I mean, there wasn't everybody in a rental Jeep. There were a lot of people in those Jeeps that would slow down and say, okay, what do I need to do to get around you?
Mm-hmm.
And that was great. But it was the other ones that, you know, just, I guess, felt like they were entitled to it because they were on the way down instead of on the way up. But, you know, it just happens everywhere. Hello, Connie.
Hey, Connie.
Hey, Connie. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah,
we were trying to.
We, you know, that's why we prefer, even when we went out there, is we tried to stay, when we were in Utah, we tried to stay west of the Green River. The less populated, the less popular trails were the ones that we kind of liked the best. And actually, when we go back out in June, that's kind of the area we're going to start in again.
Nice. Yeah, I know Joe's looking forward to meeting up with you guys again. And
we have a date with him on the north rim of the Grand Canyon.
Mm-hmm.
Good camping there too.
That's what I hear.
You guys have been?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I like it up there. I was surprised, you know, because you hear a lot about the South Rim, but we wanted to check out the North Rim just to see what the difference was, and there was a lot of really cool camping spots there. So
we're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie, what do you say?
Personally, I think these heavily traveled tourist locations should be one way.
Yeah.
Some of those trails are one way.
Yep.
Black Bear Pass is one way after just past the falls.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with Ronnie. With the amount of traffic that's on some of those, it's just turning into a safety factor. But
really is.
Yeah. So, what is one thing that the audience might be surprised to learn about you guys? We'll start with you, Bill and Deb.
One thing surprised to know about us guys. I don't know. You know.
I don't either. We pretty much just
we're pretty much just, you know.
I think everybody knows what we do for a living.
Yeah. I don't know anything else that. Do you?
You guys are an open book?
Yeah, I couldn't, you know, I don't know anything that people wouldn't know.
So is there anything that you all learned about us that you don't think that other people don't know?
That y'all are a spirit animal.
There you go.
Especially Deb.
Hey, girl, hey.
I mean, I know a couple of stories, but I don't know if they're for, you know.
Here's a question: heated floors or not heated floors?
Oh, well,
heated floors for
sure. That's one thing that they may not know about us is we did not camp while we were at MOORE Expo.
Neither did we.
None of us did.
Yeah.
We Airbnb'd it all the way.
Yeah.
We were posers.
Karen and Matt did, but we didn't.
Karen and Matt did. Mm-hmm.
They ended up with us one night.
Yeah.
One night they did. Yeah.
Well, you had a mansion. I mean, geez.
Yeah. Yeah.
That thing had so many floors and so many bathrooms, and
it was cool.
You get lost.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite thing about MOORE as far as the exhibits and the different vendor booths? We'll start with you, Kelly.
Well, the highlight for me, and this is going to be really selfish, but was the skinny guy camper deal. I can't lie.
I mean, yeah.
I mean,
if you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. If you're into that, which by the way, it also has heated floors. Just FYI.
Are you lying right now?
No, I'm not. The combi heater in there pumps one of its 4 ducts under the floor pan. It's to keep all the water tanks from freezing, but that happens also to be where your feet go. So
it's a side benefit. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
It felt like escape. Oh, you must be talking about the house.
Yeah.
So Porker was in our Airbnb. We were with Professor and Connie and Jared and Kayla and me and Tony McKenna. And Porker was kind of last minute into the Airbnb, and he got what was left, which was the couch. And after a couple of days of staying there, he realized that the couch pulled out
to a bed.
So there was that. Poor Porker. Yeah. It was a good joke there.
Yeah, that's a good time.
What do you think your best purchase was at MOORE?
We didn't actually purchase a whole lot.
Yeah, we purchased that light.
But that's the only thing that we did purchase was the Devos Light Ranger.
Yeah, and I really like that.
Yeah, we tried it the first night we left there, and it was great. I think I seen somebody else on social media earlier say the only regret they had was not buying 2.
I wish we would have picked one up after seeing your video and seeing the light that it did put out.
Yeah,
I kind of wish we would have picked one up. So,
and for the money, you can't beat them. You know, I've looked at other lights, camp lights that were $300-400, and that one's like $120. Yeah. Super great price.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. For me, and I want to jump in on this because I bought a Lifesaver water filter, the jerry can one.
Awesome.
But Misti, I bought it because of you and Joe, because you guys have used one for over a year, right? And
I think about a year.
Yeah, and you used that for primary water at times, didn't you?
Well, the first year we rode around with one of the big metal Berkeys, and we were like, this isn't working.
Okay.
And so we each got a Lifesaver jerry can for each vehicle. So we have one for each vehicle, and then we carry just the cheapo Walmart blue water cans to fill that back up. So just as extra water because there's 5 of us. But yeah, those Lifesaver ones are awesome. So happy with those.
Yeah, and actually I bought it because when we were out and I saw how that worked, and you guys were telling me how you've effectively been using it for so long, I thought this is something you need. And it's beyond just overlanding. I mean, there are situations, I mean, we haven't had it here, but my brother's house, they've been on a boiler order twice in a year because of water main problems. Well, there you go.
I say we use it in hotels and everything because, you don't know where the water comes from necessarily, or how it's been treated.
That's true. So, Travis is wondering what light you're referencing.
Travis, it's the Devos, DEVOS Light Ranger.
Telescopes up. It's really tall.
It telescopes to 9 feet. You can turn it on to have 4 LEDs, 2 LEDs, or 1 LED for your camp situation. We've used it for the whole camp, and then we used it the last night we were there when we were underneath the awning and just turned it down to 2 LEDs, and it worked great for us.
That's awesome. Tracy wants to know what section in Missouri did you enjoy the most?
The area by the Current River that was east of the Current River, the Pioneer backcountry, Pioneer Forest backcountry, and it's actually not National Forest Service property. It's private property that a group of private people have gotten together and allowed public recreation on it.
Oh, nice.
And that's where most of those, when we were going down the creek bed that was actually a county road, that was in that Pioneer Forest.
Nice.
Very cool. So you guys you said you haven't experienced the Ozarks yet, right?
We have not, but that is on the short list as soon as we
come here. Let us show you.
Yeah. That was our first day overlanding. We got stuck in the Ozarks for 6 hours. So.
Well, that sounds like
fun. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. And the traction boards did not work on Ozark mud.
No.
They didn't work in Kentucky mud either.
Yeah.
No, they did not.
So we have better traction boards this time, but, I don't know. We haven't put them to the test yet.
That may be what the problem was with the ones that we had, was, the quality. So.
Yeah.
You know, in true transparency, they were a very cheap brand that was offered to us to test, and we tested them and sent that video back to them and asked them if they wanted us to publicize it.
It said no.
No, thank you. Thank you.
We kind of did anyway because it's in the video.
Yeah, an exclusive video just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So we did leave them in the video of Kelly
spitting them out
and breaking up everything else he did to them.
Put it through its paces. Right,
Mom's
Kelly?
purse is just too heavy. You can't put all that in that purse and then expect that to work.
Yeah, that's right.
A lot of junk in that trunk.
There is a lot of junk in that trunk.
So, what do you think your best day ever on the trail has been, Deb?
Best day ever on the trail. Gosh, there's so many times I'm like, you just absolutely love the different areas you're in. I guess, I don't know. That's a hard one to answer. I think it was probably when we went out west, just, pretty much all of that was kind of just like your best day. Any day is best for me if I'm not doing my job because I'm stressed constantly, so when you get away from it, it makes it great. But, I have to say probably the Lockhart Basin was probably one of the best days. I think the most memorable that we've ever had was out there.
Very cool. Yeah, it's amazing. Joe even said that the other day. He said, man, as soon as you cross the Mississippi River, it's just like everything just opens up. And it's just so much land. It's so vast out west and so beautiful. What do you think your best day was, Bill?
So for me, it was a moment. It wasn't necessarily a day. Last year, I spent the better part of 8 months planning our trip out west. And I had my eye on one particular campsite that I knew I wanted to be that's where I wanted to be the first day that we woke up in Utah. And we got to Green River and stopped and got fuel. By the time we started down into the lower San Rafael swell, it had gotten dark. So the only thing that everybody that was with us knew was that I was leading them somewhere off into the desert. And I kept telling them, this is going to be one of the most epic places you've ever been to in your life. And I had never been there, but I had studied it enough by maps that I knew what it was going to look like. And to get there and it completely dark, you couldn't see anywhere around. But to wake up the next morning, and when I came out of the tent, we were sitting overlooking a place called Tri-Alcove Bend. And Tri-Alcove Bend is similar to, it's just a big cove. A big, horseshoe bend in the Colorado River, or the Green River. And when I got out, I looked over, and Kelly was sitting in his chair. He hadn't even got his coffee yet, but he had just made it far enough to get his chair and sit down, and he stared off into that view for over 45 minutes.
Yep.
And I just kind of hung out there, kind of in the background, doing the same thing. And to realize that we had planned for 8 months and we had made it halfway or better across the country, and we were there.
Nice.
We had made it to Utah. That was the moment that I remember.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Kelly, is that your best moment too, or do you have another one?
That was a really good moment. I have another one, but that was good. He's right. I sat there for 45 minutes, didn't even have my coffee because it was just coffee to it. Yeah, they did. It was that amazing, and it was just beautiful to wake up to that scenery, and I've traveled quite a bit. I've been around a lot of stuff out of the country and stuff, and it was just amazing to sit there and look out at nothing for hundreds of miles. And a river, what was that river, 800 feet below us?
Yeah.
I mean, one step and it's, 800 feet and there's a river down there. And it was gorgeous. My moment for me was when Bill and I had to make the fuel run.
Yeah.
You know, and because I mean, there was something on it. We had folks back there waiting on us, but no matter how many things went wrong, Bill and I just kept laughing.
Yeah.
You know, everything was just, and then that happened. All right, this is awesome. You know, and we were truly just having a great time. And I really liked that because I think that's one of the things. And here, I'll say this to Bill, you can go ahead and laugh now. From the hiking standpoint, you have to remind yourself all the time not to make it a job.
Right.
Don't say I have to do so many X miles tomorrow, because then you're making it work. And I think it can be the same thing with overlanding. I think things can start going wrong, and you can start telling yourself, oh, this is a bad day, or oh, this isn't going right. Oh, you're not having fun anymore. Wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be. Unless there's an actual medical emergency that you're dealing with, just enjoy it. Even if it sucks, even if you're stuck for 2 days, you know. Make a good meal. You've got time now, you know. So
absolutely.
That's there was blanding when we crashed. When I crashed the drone, you know, we ended up having to stay over an extra day in Blanding, and we ended up staying at a campsite, and it was a primitive campsite, and it was perfect. But we had a day to just sit down, relax, de-stress, not worry about anything, and recuperate. And it worked out great. We didn't plan it that way, you know, but it worked. That's where we were supposed to be at the time.
I think that's one thing that Joe would probably agree with me on, is since we've traveling for 5 years now, you don't sweat the small stuff anymore. You know, things happen, you got to roll with it. It makes you more flexible. You know, you don't have to live life so rigidly. If stuff happens, you just kind of improvise, adapt, and overcome and move forward, you know? And I think that that's something that gets lost in everyday life, you know, when everybody's running around all stressed out and trying to get from point A to point B. And sometimes it's okay to stop and enjoy where you're at.
You're exactly right, Kara. The no agenda. That was the mistake that we made on our first trip. You know, we got to try Alcove Bend, and from that point, I had a pretty good plan of where we were going to go and where we were going to be the next day. And it ended up stressing me because I was trying to make sure that we made it from point to point every day.
Yeah.
So I've told Deb and I've told Kelly and everybody else that's going with us, you know, on this next trip.
We're just not good planners.
We're going to start on the north rim of the Grand Canyon. And in 20 days, we're going to end up in Denver, Colorado to meet with Chris and Shannon from Trail Ready Coffee. But whatever happens between there in those 20 days is whatever happens.
Yep.
Just wing it.
If we don't make it past Hanksville on day 19 and we have to hit the blacktop and go by interstate to Denver, then that's what we do. Oh, well, next year we'll just have to start at Hanksville again. It's just what it is.
Yeah. So Robert's asking, anyone do any trails in Alaska?
No,
not yet.
I've only done ATV in Alaska.
Oh, you did ATV? Okay.
I did.
Nice.
Well, and Rob had asked earlier, he said he wished somebody would take him overlanding. Rob, take some vacation. Let's head to Alaska, man. I got room in my truck.
There you go.
Please. I
in
put
that
out a
bougie
post
camper.
the other day about sleeping in a tent. And he's like, does it have a hotel? Is it a hotel room?
Well, it does have heated floors.
Yeah. I mean, you can still Kelly.
You have heated floors.
For sure.
I'll just curl up in a ball. I mean, I'm good.
You can use Kelly's potty and everything.
Oh, yes. Tony says road trip. That's all.
We need to plan it.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Kara says it's one thing to have a plan, but you need to be willing to adapt or you will miss something.
Absolutely.
Which is true.
Yeah. Yep, you're right.
The best places that we have, whether you want to call it finding it or
stumbling on it or whatever,
stumbling onto, has been because something has happened and we've had to, usually it's severe thunderstorms and we have to go a different area. But that's been some of our best finds, has been where something has happened and we can't go somewhere.
Or on one of my short trips.
Yeah, one of your shortcuts.
Oh, that's got to be a lot easier that way. It's shorter.
Yeah.
Some of the best stuff we have ever found.
It is. Yep.
It has been. What it only take is 2 hours, and it ends up being 7.5.
Happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Rob, you're going to have to take some time off of work, and we'll all go.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
It would be.
Yeah.
I don't think I would get Tony to come back if we went to Alaska, honestly.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Well, that was Deb's problem when we went to Utah. Was getting that. As a matter of fact, I called my boss. Our home office for Aerovac is in Missouri. It's just outside of St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
And as we came through, I called my boss and said, "Hey, we have a base in New Mexico, and I just put my transfer in." And she says, "Absolutely not. You're
denied."
So her and Dad have this thing about keeping us out of Utah for a little while.
Yep.
Mine's the grandkids. I don't want to move that far away from the grandkids. I can
Can't
move
blame
from
you
my
there.
kids, just not the grandkids.
I think my parents feel the same way. They're like, my kids can be wherever. I just want to see my grandkids.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Mexico is awesome, Kara.
Very pretty.
Love New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Very pretty.
Love it, love it, love it. So why don't you guys give a quick rundown on how people can find you, for those that aren't following you already, how they can find you on social media and everything.
So we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Instagram. So any of those three, just Coddiwomple Overland on any of those. Our email is contact@Coddiwomple_Overland. Dash.
I think it's a dash.
I can't remember it all the time. It's a dash. Yeah. .com. So is there any other ones? That's the only three that
we're not on
TikTok
or Twitter.
Yeah.
YouTube, obviously, Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
hey,
you guys
good to see you here. Hope you have had better luck with your tent.
Yeah.
That's been fun. I think he's still working on brackets.
Still working on that thing.
Yeah.
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 We need to go out for a camping trip and check it out.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
No, I wish y'all were coming to Bonfire.
Yeah, we would love to.
We're big on Aaron in June, but y'all are going to be out west.
We are both working this week, so or the week that it's happening.
Overrated.
Yes, it is absolutely overrated.
Overrated.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's go.
I ain't scared of rain. I hang out with Coddiwomple.
Yeah, that's right. We're always in the rain.
Seems like y'all attract the rain. I'm not going to lie there.
We do.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Well,
You notice all their stories involve water.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we joked about
There
it.
you go.
We joked about it until we were in Utah and it rained for 3 days.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
in the
we are-
desert. We're like, okay, it is us. Yeah.
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 Mhm.
So, Deb, why don't you tell them what I'm going to join you out in a few weeks at? What are we going to do together?
So we are going to be doing the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. They are doing the Back the Byway ride, where they'll have some vendors there. They have a few classes. They started off a few years ago to support the Byway, and we are going to do a women's roundtable while we're there.
Yay!
So that's going to be fun. I think we'll do it around a bonfire though, since it's all.
That's cool.
I think
Yeah,
that'll
round
be.
fire instead
It's
of
going to be
round
around a fire instead of a table.
The Ring of Fire.
Yes,
Fireside chat.
so I'm really
Cocktails, I'm
excited
sure.
to have you come down, and I think it'll be great because we don't have anything in this area I'm sure we do have some lady off-road groups, but it's, for just to get together and just hang out is pretty neat for these events.
And that is May the 19th through the
Mhm.
22nd.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice,
Good time.
nice.
And they're holding it out of Callie's Campground in the Red River Gorge.
So,
River
I know
Gorge.
Misty's coming. Was hoping we could talk to everybody else and talk you guys into coming
Just trying to
too.
get
Arla, Tony, and Joey, and Connie.
Huh?
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I think Matt and Kara, they're going out to Expo West.
Yeah, they'll be West. So. Yeah. Hey, Joey wants to know if you're using some beard butter, Kelly.
I use beard. I do use beard oil.
Beard oil.
Whoa. Beard oil. Yeah.
Uh-oh. There's a fight. There's a pro fight.
Yeah.
Kelly's skinny guy camper is big enough for all of you, I'm sure.
Y'all can all curl up on the floor.
Make room. They just want you for your camper, I think.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm okay with that.
Oh man, characters on here tonight. I tell you what.
Oh
boy. Well, thank you guys so much for being on the show tonight. And Rob Keyser, we're going to be expecting you to take some vacation and come see us. Oh, 80 or 90 weight oil.
Wow.
Oh,
I want to touch it.
This is going downhill.
Bro, you just saw him. Stop it.
Behave yourself, Joey.
Stop it.
Joey, come over to the camper later. We'll figure it out.
That escalated quickly.
And with that, we're going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
Oh my gosh.